जब वो Hello, 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 assalamu alaikum, good morning, ji ayanu, khush amdeed, goeiemorgen, boona.
Ja, nu begrijp niet how jullie shumme washpale o hai gazaimes guten morgen hola boyo previous kaifal halle shoma chatore ahlan wa sahlan marhaba and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic, the very fabulous Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello Shiza, how are you today?
I am great, how are you?
Absolutely perfect. And this is the first thing which is in my head that, as soon as I'm going to ask Shiza, how are you today? She's going to say, oh, I'm doing great. How are you? And I have to think about so many different ideas. Okay, how can I actually explain the state I am in? So today I feel perfect. I feel energetic.
Yes,
I feel
same.
splendid. I feel mesmerized because of the fact that the guests over here in the studio today, I've got so many interesting things to ask them that you have no idea.
Really? Okay, that's great, that's great. The show is going to be very interesting and happening, that's true. But before that, a few days back you shared something on Facebook,
Yes,
and that's
I did.
how I found this out. There's a man who happens to be a painter.
Yes.
And he is an amazing singer. But can you shed some light on it?
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, what happened? I was surfing through my social media. That's the power of social media, not just social media, even television, even film. Whatever means we have or whatever things we have to share the talent, I think what is imperative for that is that we all take initiative in supporting all of those people who are out there. So this guy who was actually painting, some other guy, I think he goes with the name of Ali Tweets or whatnot.
Okay.
He shared this video, and this guy has got a phenomenal voice, and he's a great singer. So now imagine that the power of social media, that everybody kept on sharing the video because they like the work of that young kid as well. Now he's going to be performing besides I'm a Big on the 14th of August, which is our Independence Day as well.
It's going to be a concert?
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a concert. You cannot have like any other function where you invite singers, right?
Okay.
So it's going.
Cool.
I'm sorry for that. I'm cool, but it was just a joke.
No, yeah, makes sense. Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you see such a video, please make sure that you support the local talent and imagine that what wonders it can do. I mean, it's not long that we have seen the Chai Wala 2 as well. And there were other people, and so it just takes a small, amazing, good, very talented video.
Just a second for you to share, and that's
exactly, and that's it, and you are all over the world. And this is what happens with photographs too, as well.
Yeah, well, it brings me back to social media since you're talking about it. On Shahzad, social media, especially on his Instagram, the pictures are amazing. But I don't know who takes them. Are you yourself a good photographer?
Oh my God, man. I so want to be a good photographer, but I don't think the selfies are made for people with round faces. So, I just avoid doing that as well. But on the other hand, on the contrary, what happens is that, when you are tall and you've got long limbs, people use your hands as a selfie stick.
True, that's
Please stop doing that, ladies and gentlemen. But other than that, what I wanted to talk about photography was that in the previous year, when we did shows on photography, we had a lot of people who actually promoted tourism within Pakistan. They went to North, they uploaded pictures, and they were so amazing that people from abroad actually came to Pakistan.
Wow.
So this is the power of picture. And even in terms of Chai Wala, there was this one girl who was just wandering around in an Itwar Bazaar. She took a picture of this guy, which went viral. So ladies and gentlemen, photographs play a very important role. For example, whenever I used to prepare for my exams too as well, I've got a good photographic memory.
Oh, okay,
so what happens is that if I see a page once or twice, it's going to stay in.
And so can you also remember which line is what line?
Yeah, I can remember that. I've got formulas for that. But what I'm trying to convey over here is that our brain thinks in a different way. When we learn words, words are different. But when we see an image, it is just there in your head. And I think it happens to everybody as well. So imagine what pictures can do in your life. And this is what we are talking about. We are talking about photography as an art or as a profession, and we've been joined by some amazing people over here. What do you have to say about photography? Are you a good photographer?
I can't say I'm a good photographer. I've learned photography because of the subjects I was studying in my university. I had assignments, and every time I was questioned on whether the symmetry is wrong. There's something wrong with the lighting. Of course, there's so many things that one has to consider, so I am a bad photographer.
All right, but other than that, there's one thing which I would ask you, and that is, do you think that with journalism, it is very important to know how the frame looks or how you look within the frame?
Well, I'll be honest. So you should know about how you look in the frame because obviously you are representing, right?
Yeah.
For girls especially, it's important.
Yeah.
But if you're a journalist, you usually have a cameraman with you.
Yeah.
If you don't, there's citizen journalism when you're using your phone. So you just know the basic rules of how to, there's a rule of thirds that I know because that's the only
What's
thing.
that?
Okay, so why did you ask me that?
Just like the rule of thirds.
Thirds.
Okay.
Yeah. So you set a frame and you sort of imagine some lines on it.
Yeah,
You know,
I know
three
those
longitudinal.
grids.
Yeah. And then you sort of place the object wherever it is on probably the left or
Oh,
right
I
side.
got it. So, so this is one thing which I learned from YouTube. Well, you know, I'm bad with photography, but this is
Okay.
one thing. So when you have those grids and you get these options
Yeah.
in your DSLRs, ladies and gentlemen, so what happens is that, you know, the grid on the right, you know, the top grid where it crosses, that's where I put my face always. And, and it looks fantastic. But these are some questions which we need to ask these young, amazing, talented photographers over here in the studios. We'll be sharing their work too as well. So let's introduce them. But before that, Shizat, there's one thing which I wanted to ask you personally.
Asking
And that
things.
is, I'm sorry that I'm asking it on TV. Do you think that I speak a lot while we're on TV?
Okay. You speak loud?
Do you think that I speak a lot on TV?
Yes, okay. I'll tell you why, because I have like at least 10 to 15 questions which go unasked and unanswered. That's because he does not let me ask them. But that's okay. That's okay.
Okay, so we're a team.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. So, ladies and gentlemen, on my right-hand side, we've got a portrait photographer. She's none other than Miss Valiha Najib. Hello, how are you? Assalamu alaikum.
How are you? I'm good.
Walaikum assalam. Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for making it to our studios. Alongside Miss Valiha Najib, we have been joined by Miss Natalia Khan. She's a family photographer. Hello, how are you? Assalamu
Good,
alaikum.
thank you. How are you?
And the best part, ladies and gentlemen, is that both of these sisters have got different names and surnames as well, but they're sisters.
Yeah,
so that's amazing. And alongside Miss Natalia, we have been joined by somebody who's a wedding photographer. He's got all his 5 fingers into the oil, panchongliyan ghee mein, that's how it is. You know, he never leaves any of the functions which is happening within Islamabad, Rawalpindi, or anywhere else. And he's none other than Mr. Ali Bangash. Hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you?
How are you?
Walaikum assalam, I'm absolutely perfect. The next time somebody says assalamu alaikum, say walaikum assalam.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Early in the
rule.
morning. All right. And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, he's a great guy. You know, we've been
Trying to get him on the show for long.
I've known him for more than 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
Gone are those days. I don't want to talk about those days, but those days were fun too as well. And that was the time when he actually emerged as a photographer as well. He's into fashion photography. He's into portfolios. He's into quite a lot of different things as well. And he's attempted to do wedding, family, and everything else. But I think he's a great fashion photographer. That's what I want to know him for. He's none other than Mr. Khan Bilal. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you? Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us.
Yes.
Let's get the conversation started.
Let's.
So you are a portrait photographer. So when first things first, all I know is that the person with the camera is a photographer. So how do you define who's going to do what?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Now, how do you pick your niche?
That you're going to be a portrait, she's going to be a family, he's wedding,
I
he's
think you
fashion.
just start out. I just started out taking photos of everything and anything that came in front of me. I started with my friends, my pets, basically anything.
How old were
And
you then when you started doing this?
When I have loved taking pictures ever since I was little. So I had a digital camera. My dad gifted it to me when I was in the 6th grade or something. So I've been
Really?
taking pictures since then.
Okay.
And then I got my first DSLR when I was about 18, I think.
Okay. Wow.
And then I just took pictures of literally everything. And my friends used to model for me my cat and my dog and all of that. And then I just realized once I started to take so many pictures, I found out that I feel like I took better pictures of people and I enjoyed taking pictures of people more than anything else.
Did
was
people
because
tell the same?
And
Yeah, that's what. Was it because of the response you were getting from people?
I guess so. Yes, and because obviously with social media you can put your work instantly out
Yeah,
there
of
and you
course.
know
And
what
get
kind of
feedback.
response
Right,
you're
right,
getting, right?
right.
So I guess that has a part, that plays a part.
Yeah.
And then I felt like I took better pictures of people.
No,
so that's
you
when I-
mentioned that you've had quite a lot of different cameras ever since you were young. Do you think for a good photograph, a good camera is important or a good eye is important?
Actually, I have been working with very basic DSLRs for a very long time.
Okay.
And so I do think cameras do play a good part in that, but I also think that it's the thought behind
Right,
it that counts.
right.
And I think for a photographer, it is very necessary to have stable hands.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh
because
God,
if
yes.
they're shaky, you know, you get blurred pictures or red eyes, and you know you're moving towards left or right. That's how it is. But moving on to you. So when did you decide that you're going to be a family photographer, where you're going to go to different places or different people's house, and you know they want a family portrait or a picture, you will be the one who'll do it?
So I think a lot of photographers, their journey is similar, where they do like all kinds of work initially, and then something, you just hold on to something which you feel most passionate about. So yeah, I did like everything too. We both kind of started around the same time.
Okay.
And I did everything, but I did because I had just recently gotten married and I had moved to Seattle.
Okay.
And so I did a lot of like, friends would ask me, those were the days of Facebook. So whatever pictures I was taking, I would share them on Facebook. So friends would be like, oh, take pictures of our daughter or our family. But then I did like photos of a model friend. So like I've done everything. But then family sessions, I have a daughter who is 7 now, so I just love capturing her through the different ages.
Okay.
And I always remember my mom always used to say, "Palak jhapakte mein waqt guzar gaya," and it makes so much sense now. So I just love, I feel like with family photography, every stage of a family is like very temporary.
Okay.
You don't know it, and your kids who are crawling their babies, and now suddenly they're teenagers.
So you need memories of every stage.
Yeah, so I feel like it's very, so yeah, I love doing it.
So I think in days to come, she'll actually be making a stop motion animation video of her daughter too as well. That's great. So moving on to Bangar Saab over here. So Bangar Saab, you know, wedding photography is said to be very commercial, very conventional, and a lot of people do not think or take it in a very amazing way that, you know, you're a wedding photographer. We definitely want to change that too, because it's a different form of art. But as a matter of fact, what do you personally think about wedding photography? Is it just for commercial reasons, or is that what you wanted to do?
No, actually, the thing you have said, we started photography, wedding photography by, like same case. I'm an army brat. My father used to tell me, many people used to tell me, why have you started wedding photography? I asked them, what's wrong with it? Na, I get respect from people. I cover them. I cover their families.
What more?
Or free foods, exactly. And the next main important thing is they make you part of their family.
Okay.
Wedding is the most important thing. Like you get into their family, privacy matters, and you capture every moment. Single from the house to the event coverage.
That's too deep, man. I mean, privacy matters.
Too much interference.
What kind of privacy matters, bro?
Privacy, you cannot trust anybody with your family.
Yeah, what I can think of is that, you know, that the bride's still actually backstage, and, you know, the photographer gets to see the bride first, not the bridegroom. So I can believe in that. But other than that, what are more other issues?
Many people are conservative. Like you can ask them, can we upload your pictures? The main problem is that they are not comfortable uploading the pictures. So I'm okay if they are not allowing you. I'm fine. I do not create hype कि आप मुझे allow करें.
All right.
So it's okay if they don't allow, because the main thing is how can you ask them to how can
उर्दू में बता दे, कोई मसला नहीं.
Yeah, it's okay.
इसमें ये है कि आप कैसे इस फैमिली में अंदर जाते हैं और कैसा आपका एक रिस्पांस उनसे मिलता है कि आप स्टार्ट कर लेते हैं.
Right.
But God forbid, if the pictures are horrible, you know, there's no response. There's only chittar then.
Yes, exactly.
What happened to our money? Now moving on to Bilal, of course. You've been a fashion photographer. We are going to talk about your different ventures later on. But I'm not going to ask who the person was, but what was the most difficult situation you were dealing with? Don't name the person, but I'm pretty sure when you're working with celebrities and when you're a fashion photographer, the different demands that they have, what was the most difficult
when
thing?
we were working together, bro.
Oh, celebrity.
I think there's one person, I think we know who it is, but the Sherwani was a big issue with that guy.
Okay.
But, you know, we put it through. It wasn't very difficult, but he made pretty sure it becomes very difficult for me. But it became like it's part of the job, so
Right.
All right, but Bilal, what I want to ask you is, since you've ventured into too many different things, you know, you've almost done every kind of photography. Why did you settle down with fashion, first of all? And then when you did settle down, what were the challenges you had to face initially? Because people, you know, for fashion, you really need to ask the models to come over, and, you know, they have their own tantrums. They'll speak of something else, or take me from the left, not from the right. This is where I look good. So how do you deal with all of this?
I haven't settled down with the fashion, to be honest. Like my main goal was to go with forensic photography and then like war photography. That never happened because army brat, like everyone said. With the fashion photography, I'd say like, I mean, with the models as well, there's no difficulty. I mean, if you're doing work, if you shooting them, if it's if it's a model who knows her work, it's easy to work with her. But if she's not, if she's a newbie, like, you know, we're talking about portfolios. That's when you groom them. That's what you tell them. Like, I have a session of about like 1 hour with the, you know, new models who want to be models.
Yeah.
And we guide them. We tell them what to do, how to do, and when to do. Even with the producers, directors, and production houses, and like we have to keep them in the loop of education of.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm bringing this up, but you know, this is what I've witnessed within fashion photography, and that is that, you know, that the cameraman will actually lie down for a lower angle, or, you know, he'll just probably climb up a staircase, and he'll be like, oh, this is achhi lagegi, and you know, this and that. Does it really work, or is it just like overreacting in a situation where you're trying to tell somebody that you're a good photographer?
Sometimes I've seen a few videos. I think I know what you're referring to, but unique images come out like with unique.
Okay.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're going to do. Let's see how much Valiha was actually thinking outside the box while she took her pictures. So we're going to share her pictures with you guys, and she's going to let us know what happened, how did she set up the light, because lighting these days is very
It's so
important. You know, and
it's everything.
And we've got too many different types of lights too as well. They're Indian as well. There's cut light. There are too many different
I
things.
didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, these lights are different from them too as
Okay.
well. They're supposed to make the studio look even as well. No matter where you go, there won't be any shadows. But so it's different in different situations. So Mr. Producer, whenever you're ready with Valiha's pictures, do let us know, because she'll tell us what kind of work went to make this picture possible. All right. Wow.
I am a natural light photographer, so I don't have to answer all of those questions that you have to. But this is when I was starting out photography, and I would try out everything. And I actually miss those days, because I would spend so much time outside just taking pictures of everything, and I don't do that anymore. So
It's a beautiful
hopefully
one.
I can be inspired by
Moving on to
this
the
as well.
next one. We want to see some recent work from Valiha. Wow.
I think these are the days mostly.
What? So you
this is
took
when
your
I
own
started.
picture with your own camera?
No, this is just the lower
Oh,
floor.
are you into symmetry and architecture and stuff?
I try, but I tell Natalia that, and I'm really bad at it.
Okay.
And I always tell her, okay, she takes pictures inside. Indoor photos, family sessions, and whenever I do that, मुझे हमेशा लगता है कि कोई दीवार टेढ़ी है, you know, all of that, and it's really hard. People don't understand. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I'm
That's
really
true.
bad at that.
But you know
actually.
what's interesting is Avalia is actually, you know, she is a portrait photographer, that's
Yeah.
true, but she travels to northern areas with a specific, I don't know what it's called, a traveling company, right?
Yeah.
And she goes with them, and explain it to us. How
So
do you work?
it's sort of like my own company. I
Okay.
work with a bunch of friends of mine.
Okay, wow.
And we started this last year, and we have gotten an amazing response. We have been taking, I can't even count. We have
Okay.
taken so many tours up north, and so even though I'm not a landscape photographer, but it has helped me learn. And it is beautiful, and I always wanted to go up north, but kabhi wo nahi tha, and I feel like ladkiyan nahi jaya karti thi, and now I just want to promote it so much, because our country is so beautiful.
It is indeed.
And देखे बगैर किसी को समझ नहीं आ सकती कितना प्यारा है सब
Right,
कुछ.
exactly.
And just the whole experience, I feel like you grow, and so yeah,
So you have taken up the responsibility to show the beautiful places of Pakistan to other people who unfortunately cannot visit people like me and Shiza.
Yeah.
you
This is-
can.
this
We
is what
cannot because we work 7 days a
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. But moving on to Natalia now. So Natalia, what are the challenges when you're a family photographer?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and you know what? It is great that, you know, because I'm thinking in lines of, for example, you have your own family doctor, so you can have your own family photographer too as well.
Yes.
Natalia, where are you? You know, we're all set up, we're all dressed up. Please come over, take our few pictures. So what are the most common challenges you face?
Kids.
One baby's crying. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What happens?
But it's funny. A lot of times, parents, because they have this perfect picture in their head.
Yeah.
They think that you'll arrive at the shoot, and the kids who never behave are gonna behave,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be perfect. It never is. So
Okay.
it's funny. A lot of times, the kids I love most. It's so funny to get kids to be natural.
Candid
But
pictures,
with parents, it's so hard. And a lot of times I will have the perfect expression for kids, but there'll be a parent who's just like either pointing or telling them to point at the camera.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very funny. But yeah, kids are challenging, but we play a lot of games on sessions. It's interesting. I feel very passionate about family photography, but also because I feel like in Pakistan, we still haven't reached that point yet.
All right.
Okay.
And
Okay, that's great. You know, and we share your pictures now.
they've dug out some
So-
old pictures.
Wow, that's great.
So we have a beautiful all seasons in where I live.
Okay.
And so I always offer fall sessions. So this little kid, I have taken pictures of him recently too. Now he is 5 and he
Wow.
has a baby sister who's kind of his age.
Yeah.
This is a family who lived in our area, and yeah.
So,
Okay.
This is a
Wow, love
grandma.
it.
This is a grandma. This was a generational session, so
Okay.
it was one of my favorite sessions because these kids, this family walked in bare feet.
Okay.
2 sisters, their kids, the grandma. And it was crazy, but it
Okay.
was so funny. They were completely ignoring me, which was the best part. I
Yeah.
love when families can ignore me. I can just capture their interactions. So this was the grandma and the kid, and yeah,
I feel
this
like
was
this
a kid.
is what Ali was talking about, that it's such a personal thing, a photographer. Now she has seen that kid when he was a baby, and now she knows him still when he's
Yeah.
5. So it's
Right,
like
right.
she has like an insight into their lives. And
Even
that's
this family, I've done them again. And this kid did not want to take pictures.
Yeah.
So his mom told me, don't ask him. He's going to stay in the car. We're just going to take pictures of me and my youngest daughter. And I was like, no, that's not possible. We have to. So we coaxed him in. And yeah, this shot happened of him when he didn't
okay,
want
so
to
I'm
be.
going to bring you back to Pakistan now.
Yeah.
So, from there to Pakistan over here, what I've seen is that, on most of the weddings and most of the family picture kind of thing, what happens is that, okay, kids, whatever they're doing, you still take their pictures, they'll still look good.
Yeah.
But if you're telling a couple, oh, you need to be a bit closer, they're shy. We do have these problems within
Initially,
our
of course,
society.
yes.
So that when you're not getting the desired result from the people who need to
Yeah.
perform in front of the camera, how do you do that?
So there is this whole art now of directing people,
Yeah.
not posing.
Yeah?
So basically, the photographer has to have a certain kind of personality. I know Walia does too. Like you have to be very casual. You have to be very personal and just like chat and keep taking pictures in the middle. It is tricky with Desi people a lot because I think we are very self-conscious.
Which means all of us Pakistanis, ladies and gentlemen, over here.
I would say ignore the photographer. Just focus
Yeah.
on the person next to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, and yeah, it does take a photographer who can just say the right kind of things, crack jokes which you normally don't, but
Yeah.
just make them relaxed. Just
But our
let.
cameraman over here has never ever cracked jokes with us.
I'm sorry.
Well, he does during news. He does. So I'll give him that.
Yeah, he does. That's great. So moving on to Bange Sahib over here. So
Well,
now-
I have a question.
Well,
for
go
you
ahead,
before
please.
Okay. So, when you say you're a wedding photographer, you don't have a lot of chances to, improve your video. So when I was working for my thesis, I was developing a multimedia story. So I was obviously making documentaries as well. But so many times when I come back and watch my videos, I knew, oh my God, this is not right. I have to go back and reshoot. But you cannot reshoot. So how do you get everything right in the first time?
For now, we have almost gained experience के इतना आ गया है कि अब we can know how किस टाइम क्या चीज़ कैसे कवर करनी है. हमें प्रॉपर अपना एक मेथड पर चल गया है कि कहाँ से स्टार्ट करना है, वेयर टू स्टार्ट एंड वेयर टू एंड.
ठीक है.
बीच में वी कैन डायरेक्ट पीपल कि आप इस तरह करें. कुछ मैनी क्लाइंट्स वी गेट वो इस तरह होते हैं कि आपको दे आर वेरी कंफर्टेबल, आपके साथ वो मीटिंग करते हैं, दे आस्क यू टू हमें इस तरह की चीज़ चाहिए और उनके साथ काम करने में आपको अच्छा भी लगता है. दे लाइक आप इजी हो जाते हैं, यू नो व्हाट टू डू इवेंट डे पे. इसी तरह हमें रीशूट का तो मौका मिलता ही नहीं है. वी ट्राई कि हम उसी जगह में हर चीज़ कवर कर लें. This one?
So from wedding photographer, you've been taking. Oh yeah, okay. Now we have got wedding photography, ladies and gentlemen. It looks superb too as well. Yeah, great work.
This picture is from F7. ये road पे shoot हो रहा था, and we were getting late.
And it's natural light.
This is natural light.
Okay, that's great. Now this is not what I want to ask you. Now for your work, it is very important to get the emotion right within the picture because we are talking about two people getting married. Families being very sentimental, for example, rukhsati, barat, happiness. So you have to gather all of those things within those pictures. And do you have to wait for the right moment or you just keep on clicking and then go back home and then decide which picture to go out?
No, we click almost every moment. We try to click candidates.
The worst part of wedding photographers is while you're eating food we are on a wedding. Oh my God, you have to leave your plate. Okay, I'm not eating.
The
It
worst
doesn't
thing,
happen anymore, right?
we avoid that. मतलब if even client ask us to कि हम like देसी पंजाब side,
Yeah.
तो वो हमें कहते हैं कि आप बनाएं. But we don't know.
But before you tell anything, what time of the day is this photograph?
This is sunset.
Okay, so how is the sky so clear and blue?
Because these are external lights हमने
Okay.
यूज़ की हुई हैं और इसमें वाइड एंगल लेंस यूज़ हुआ है.
But also a lot of editing goes into this, right?
I avoid editing.
Okay, okay.
मतलब I am not the person who edits a lot of pictures. मतलब my basic target is कि आप picture start में ही ऐसे ले लो कि बाद में आपको उसको edit करने. We do edit, but we design for
basic edit.
You
albums.
have to.
I mean, I do get so many requests from different people, and come on, let's meet up. We need to see you. While you go through their profiles, the pictures are so different. When you meet people in real, they're so different. You're like, oh, if that's what it is, this is unfair. And this is what Kate Winslet did as well. Kate Winslet actually signed an agreement that, none of my pictures will be actually going to be photoshopped or anything of that sort. At least, that's the real person. That's the
And
real capture.
actually, since you're talking about that, Kim Kardashian especially, monitors her paparazzi pictures. She allows the pictures to go on internet.
All right, so that's great. That after Photoshop and everything, well, it's all right. Everybody's got their own demands, and this is why we are going to direct our questions towards Khan Bilal over here as well. Do you get such requests from people that can you please Photoshop this? मैं थोड़ी छोटी लग रही हूँ, कर
Models,
देना.
a lot of models. go
Okay.
over
ये तो
there.
सबका है.
Really?
सबको बाजू
Weddings
काटे.
में
No, but what's your story behind it?
It really depends on the kind of person you're shooting with. With models, it's like compulsory that like they come out perfect. For brands, like the brands want them to look very perfect.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, like वो करने के लिए, like you need to like get rid of like small like feature जो आपके face के ऊपर होते हैं, तो वो
Slightly.
करना छोटी बात करनी पड़ती
Okay.
है.
But it's a different question. It's a weird question as well, but you have to
Oh,
answer
she's
it.
just asking a weird question.
Yes,
Let's
I
see.
have weird.
Go ahead.
So when you're especially into fashion photography, you're working with models. So there's this idea of you have to look slim on screen. That's true. On magazine covers or everything. So if someone asks you to Photoshop them when probably they're bigger in real life and they want you to make them slim, have you ever like questioned them on why? Why, man?
Good question.
I don't know how to answer that. But yeah,
But does that happen?
there are shoots in which like we have models who are like a bit like over the scale, but their skin like needs to, maybe the shoot is for like some facial product.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
over there we have to like
Smooth the
Exactly.
skin in it.
smooth the
Okay.
skin, and with that like we have to do a little bit of like
So, Shiza, what do you think, man?
I don't think
when
it's
you
a good-
see all of these shampoo commercials and those
That's crazy.
hair,
Beautiful
amazing
hair,
hair going here and there, nothing's so complicated. It is all Photoshop as well. But right now we're sharing work of Khan Bilal as well, and these pictures look fabulous.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Love the lighting.
Whenever you upload a picture, I think I'm the first one to like it too as well. Because
Really?
you've got, your ideas of taking a picture are very different. How do you make this tie float in the air, first of all?
Is this someone holding
String
it?
attached?
no,
Or you just throw it and then...
this is actually Amir Gilani. I shot with him about a year ago. He's actually working for films and a few projects for
Right.
MTV. The tie thing was just like I just asked him to like flip it in the air.
And
That's it.
All right, and you just have to capture the right moment when the eyes are now closed. The person looks great too as well. So there's a lot of chemistry which goes into it. So, and this is why we're going to come back to Valia over here.
Yeah.
Now, since all of you have got a different genre within photography, so what are the basic techniques to portrait? For all those people who are out there, go talk to them. Tell them if you're taking a portrait, how to do it.
Just how you were talking to Bilal earlier, I feel like it's not just in the fashion industry, it's in literally everywhere. I think it's because of social media that हम सबके दिमाग में एक image है जो हमने रखना है लोगों के सामने, which is, it's not just fashion, it's like मैं normal family portraits लेती हूँ या बच्चों की या anything at all, and people want to look a certain way.
Okay.
And so I feel like I'm not as good, but Natalia tries she tries to make people understand that it's okay to be natural and it's okay to be whatever you're like.
Okay.
I am not that good. I can't do that. I feel like us as Pakistanis थोड़े पीछे हैं in the whole thing. हम अभी वो वाली we're taking जिस तरह पहले होता था हर कुछ perfect नजर आता था, right?
Okay.
We're still there. I feel like the West has moved on and they're moving on to like more natural. लेकिन हम नहीं पहुंचे उस तक. And मेरे से नहीं हुआ कि मैं अभी तक अपने clients को उस तरह कर लूँ.
Is that because you don't know how to say no to them?
I don't know how to, and I feel like I'm myself at fault because I have a social media and मैं भी वही कर रही हूँ because I try to post perfect images of me,
Yeah.
and so I feel like we all need to change that. But
But we can only change that if for example, I'm not wearing a suit, I'm wearing a shorts or a t-shirt, I look horrible and I get like 500 or 600 likes. I think people will do that. But just because of the fact that people are so willing to get so many likes on their pictures, they just want to do the best. And I mean, imagine everybody having cell phone, I still know so many other friends who've just bought DSLRs so that they can put on or post good pictures on their social media accounts. So how important it is for you,
It
first
has
of all?
become a part. मेरे लिए तो it's really good because I get to earn through that.
Yeah.
So good
Okay.
for me. But obviously, I don't know what you're asking. Though. What do you mean?
Can I answer
Portrait
for her?
techniques. What are the basic portrait techniques?
I go to a photo shoot and I just like to be casual. I want everybody to be themselves. मैं उनको यही कहती रहती हूँ, stop posing for me. It's okay, just be yourself. I keep talking to them. मेरा दिल होता है, they don't pose for me.
Alright.
We keep having like random conversations about other things. Oh, Imran Khan जीता था. Oh, क्या हुआ? You know, everything
Yeah,
else
alright.
other than what's actually happening. And I feel like that's when I can actually get their expressions and them at their. What
And
they
I can even
actually are.
relate to that. She's like one of those doctors who's actually about to inject you with whatever.
Oh, that's
pretty
true.
And you know, he or she is actually going to start talking to you, "Ah, to beta aap kya karte hain?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, you know
Okay,
what?
चलो
Focus on doing what you're doing. Okay, moving on to you. So, common techniques, you know, for all those people who want to be family photographers by themselves, talk to them, tell them that what they need to do with their cameras.
So, one, I would say kind of develop your own style, see what clicks to you, shoot a lot, and then see what clicks to you. Personally, I love capturing pictures which are emotive, which are like happy pictures, I like to call them. So I'll try to say something or try to direct them in a way and just like keep clicking. I click a lot. For like a 1 hour session, on any day I have 700 pictures.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So with kids you have to do that because like there are, and with multiple people, of course with a family there are like at least 5 people or something. So invariably one person's eyes will be closed.
Yeah.
So yeah, just click a lot and just like try to keep the environment at the session as relaxed as possible. I feel like that comes across in pictures. And I also believe that because like when you look at a picture, you know how you remember that exact moment.
Yeah.
So if I take pictures where the pictures came out great, but like the environment was crazy, they're not gonna like the pictures.
Well, okay, I love where
So,
this conversation is going. So, but we're going to take a short break right here. We're going to be back. If you do stay tuned, we are having these amazing people again after this short break, and the conversation will be even more happening. Stay tuned. Good morning.
Let's do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for everybody who just got tuned into PT World. We're watching one this morning. Alongside me, I've got Shiza Hashmi. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have invited a lot of photographers from different fields. It's not necessary that when we say photographer, it means that, they do the same type of work. Valiha over here is a portrait photographer. Natalia over here is a family photographer. Ali Bangesh over here is a wedding photographer. And Khan Bilal is a fashion photographer. But before going towards the break, we were asking them a few quick tips for all those people who wanted to opt for photography as a career too as well. And I wanted to ask about instrument, which I don't think that it's very important. Right now, what is important is what you wanted to ask, and that was?
Bargain, okay.
Yeah.
So this is especially to Natalia and Ali Bangish because you both are working for families, so you get to deal with a lot of people. With models, I cannot relate, but people, families especially do.
Models don't pay, man.
That's what I'm saying, right? So since they want a memory, a specific memory, they want the best pictures for their weddings, they want for their birthdays, everything. But a lot of people are always bargain hunting, Oh, maybe can I get a better discount? Can I get more money offered? Is that okay with you guys? How do you deal with such people?
I'm sorry, I don't, because I work there mostly,
Okay.
and there's
Gora
no
people don't
concept
do
of
that.
a. No, I don't. I actually work with mostly desis.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen it a lot, but it does happen.
It is.
Okay.
I'm sorry to cut
Initially,
you, but it is sad that when I work with desis coming from abroad, it is a whole different experience. And then
Like in a good
here,
way.
same people.
very, very good.
Okay. Okay.
And
But
then
we love you
here-
guys. Everyone
Ladies
is
and
living
gentlemen, Desi is a term which is probably, it's not even a term, it's a narrative that, people who belong to the same country where they live in,
Locals, basically.
you call them Desis.
Yeah.
And it's not even, you do not even have to tell local because people outside the country even use the same word. Even the Gora people use the same word, Desi. Or are you a Desi?
Yeah.
Go back to your country. No, I'm not going. I'm not a Desi, all right?
No, but
Can I
coming back
add?
to... Okay, sure.
So like I've also seen that if you're professional, if they get that vibe from you, they won't really ask a lot.
Really?
But
Okay.
one good way that I have seen to deal with it is to just like say, I can do that, but I can offer you this in return. So just
okay.
maybe add a few extra pictures.
Okay, okay.
Which for you mean nothing anyways, right?
Yeah.
You have too many pictures already. So like there is sometimes a middle ground, but yeah, shouldn't encourage.
Right, so it works for you.
Yeah.
But what about you, Ali Bangish?
We try to avoid this thing. Most of the people are asking us huge discounts.
Okay.
Huge discount. Like they are thinking like you ask us कि हम चूना लगाते हैं.
Oh, I never said that.
Don't know
I
what
never
he's
said
talking
that.
about.
I will never say that, yeah. I mean,
They think we have different categories.
that's
Very good.
accusation on air, man. I don't like it. Yeah.
Good people and low category. They go for low people like they are like हम चलो वो भी तो कर रहा है. वो इतने में करके दे रहा है तो आप इतना ज़्यादा क्यों
So they
चाहते
don't care about the quality.
Let's come around this
They
now.
don't care about
Okay,
quality.
let me come around this. Okay, for example, what does a normal wedding photography package looks like? Mehndi, Barat, and Walima. Video and pictures too.
If I tell mine to video and picture,
Just
a
a
whole
rough
package.
idea.
Yeah.
A whole package.
For 3 days.
For 3 days, it would cost you around 2.5 to 3 lakhs.
So 3 lakh rupees. Now tell me.
There goes my
Now, okay,
savings.
so we have got 3 days. Now let's talk about the cost of it. How much cost goes into it?
We have a large
So on the
team,
first day, how much will you spend? Traveling, coming back, foods for free,
Yeah.
foods for free.
and then your
The
skill,
whole way.
obviously. So how much would you rate for your skill? 20,000, 30, 50, how much?
We charge for time,
Yeah, time,
Okay.
of course.
skill, and the other thing.
Weddings
is
are off at 10 in Islamabad these days.
we have a lot of huge team.
Let me break. I'm just trying to break down the cost over here,
Okay.
so that we can have a better understanding of what for all those
how
people who
things
want to
work.
be wedding
Yeah.
photographers, whether it's a good career to have or not.
May I please?
Yeah, sure,
Can I
sure.
add, like the equipment, it costs a lot of money.
Yes,
like,
I know.
And one single lens, it'll cost you a lot of money. Even like time, as you said, like time, it's like a lot of. You can do the same job somewhere else and earn more money
Yeah.
rather than spending that time. The people you're working with, your colleagues,
They
they're
need to
doing the
get
same
paid.
thing. The
Weddings
equipment,
are
like
so
everything.
grand these days. You need
Yeah.
a whole team, like 20 photographers.
I
go
believe
to
you've
it.
got a habit of talking, right?
No, but the point being that is not the only time you're putting in. You're also editing pictures. You're
Yeah,
taking,
yes,
making
yes.
albums
Post
and everything.
processing,
So,
yeah.
Post
There's a lot of-
processing and printing,
right.
designing. We have many things like.
All right, I give up, ladies and gentlemen. All the photographers over here have actually cornered me, so I literally have to give up, and it's great. So, okay, that's fine, and I believe that for people who can actually afford that, they'll not be asking about any discounts too as well. But if they do, and if you're done with the first day, second day, third day, you've done with all the work, you're expecting that this is the amount of money you're going to get. By the end of the day, if that's not what you're getting, how will you actually get it? Because everything's done.
We leave it. We'll just leave it.
We leave it. All right, so that's the way out, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you bargain.
We
You don't
figured
talk
it
to them
out.
by the end, but it's not fair. Please
Yeah,
don't do
don't.
that to anybody. Now, Bilal, moving on to you. So I've known a lot of people from the media fraternity, a lot of singers, a lot of people. Singers, yes, they do have money, but a lot of models, they do not even make good money while modeling,
Initially
doing
they
shows.
don't, yeah.
Even afterwards, that's something for sure I know. So how does it go with you when somebody calls you for a portfolio shoot and they're not willing to pay and they become friends instantly? Oh, yeah, tu to dost nahi bhai kar de please.
There's a lot of people like that, but initially when a person comes to you and they want to be more like they want to start that as a career, uh, there are a lot of photographers who are charging about 1 lakh or probably more than that. But initially, if you stress them that much, कि इसका इतना ज़्यादा पैसा, like you're spending that much money on this just one portfolio, and that portfolio depends on what sort of like field you want to join in. Like if you're talking about a model, actor, or तो हर कैटेगरी के लिए एक डिफरेंट पैकेज बन जाता है एंड द ग्रूमिंग पार्ट बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट तो वो उसके लिए ये चीज़ें आई यू आस्किंग लाइक हाउ मच मनी.
No, no, I'm not asking about how much money. All I'm asking about is how do you deal with clients where they're like, we want these discounts because, your time is of value too as well.
Yeah.
And for example, if you're doing it for somebody else, you could have opted for somebody else who was actually ready
Willing
or
to pay,
willing to
yeah.
pay more.
You simply just leave it.
Really? Okay, so you turned him down.
His life is easy, ladies and gentlemen.
Just like that.
He doesn't worry about things. Okay, now very quickly, since we are going to wrap up the show in the next 5 minutes, you have to tell us some basic techniques, all of you. People who want to look taller on screen, people who want to look slimmer on screen,
Yes.
people who want to look brighter on screen, it's bright karne zyada, and so these are the basics which people want. So how do you do that?
Tall lage to take the photo niche se.
All right.
If you want them to look slimmer, then probably thoda
Side
They need to be slim for that?
side se,
Or
thoda
profile?
angle pe, don't
Profile.
make them stand right.
All right.
In the front, और क्या bright तो editing है, Lightroom है.
Aperture ऊपर नीचे करें थोड़ा सा.
Aperture
Yes.
नीचे करें.
Okay.
और क्या पूछा?
और हमने पूछा है और क्या होती है basic demands? What are the basic demands?
What did they ask?
हाँ,
Really?
नाक टेढ़ी नहीं लगनी चाहिए.
Oh, people ask for that?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
people do
okay,
ask for that.
wow.
वो तो फिर Photoshop करें.
No, but there's makeup
तो
as
हमारे
well.
पास कोई हल नहीं.
All right, that's great.
Okay, yeah, please.
Natalia,
Yahi question.
but different ones, yes.
So like
Different techniques.
tell me new ones.
Well,
There's one for double chin.
yeah, go ahead.
Tell me.
You need to stretch your line out. Like
Just
you
like
can't. Normally we slump a lot.
What do we do? Do we chin
No,
up?
no,
or-
please don't. Just like pull it out. It looks
feel
kind
like
of
a duck
funny.
doing
I'm
Yeah.
gonna look so silly doing this. Why
Yeah.
did I bring this up?
No, but that's great. A lot of people have these issues,
Yeah.
especially
Well,
who
I
are above
love
40.
that. Even I do.
Because I work with moms, right, who've had multiple babies, and
Right,
so they
right.
don't feel the best about themselves.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I have to like. come up
But
with-
do you feel you also have responsibility to make them feel good about themselves?
Yes, I do that, and
Must
I tell
feel
them
good,
I have a
right?
very good trick now. I tell them if when your daughter starts saying this,
Yeah.
because my daughter, this is a complete tangent, but she'll talk about being skinny.
Okay.
And I'm shocked because she was 6 years old. How
Yeah.
does she know that you have to be skinny?
Right, right.
So yeah, I tell them once your daughter, you have to say the right things in front of your children.
Okay,
great.
but before wrapping up, a different question for you guys, of course. We have had the tips. But Shahzad, actually, you brought up the question. If you have chosen photography as a profession, do you need a side job as well? Or like, is this enough for making a living out of it?
For me, I guess you need a side job
Okay.
because I am pursuing it as a.
Don't be so sad while saying it.
Yeah,
Bring a
we're
smile,
working like million jobs.
Yeah.
I'm pursuing it as my second job, second profession, but still you need something as a backup.
Okay, but from you, I need to ask another technique, and that is, for example, on a wedding, okay, if the bride's taller and the groom's shorter, how would you make them look like?
You
for
shouldn't be
example?
asking that, come on.
No, just like that.
If we are doing shoot, we'll just ask the bride to heels utar de.
Okay, okay.
All right.
हमारे
What if she
को-
wants to showcase her heels because
Yeah.
they were too expensive?
we'll take some other angles
Okay.
for her heels.
It's a
Or
difference
do
between
you
both
use-
of them. Like you can get the bride to stand in front of the groom,
Yeah.
so that like she looks taller than. Oh, then sorry, the groom can stand in front, and
Yeah.
the bride can be the
And then we can reverse the
Yeah,
roles
looks
as
the-
well.
the distance makes the height look a bit.
And then we call the groom the bride and the bride the groom.
That's me.
I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, quickly. You were saying something?
नहीं नहीं मैं
All right, but thank you very much, guys, for coming over. It was
Yes.
lovely to have you. A very
Absolutely.
splendid conversation, and we think that people who are out there will take inspiration from these amazing
Yes, of
people,
course.
amazing photographers who've done some amazing work. at this very lovely ages as well, and they've got a long way to go. So best of luck for your future endeavors. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
But the next time, whether it's a fashion photo shoot or a wedding or a family or a portrait, I think that we guys are going to get some discounts.
Oh, we hope.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to do
Fingers
that. But if there's anything you want to ask us, please write to us on our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of...
Well, this morning.
On Twitter.
Well, this morning without a G.
On Dailymotion and YouTube.
Well, this morning.
And this fabulous repeat is going to be at
11:05 in the night.
And before wrapping it up, ladies and gentlemen, before saying 1, 2, 3, what I'm going to say is that, since we post a picture after the show on our Facebook pages too as well, so we hope that today our pictures are going to be great because we are surrounded by photographers. So 1, 2, 3, good morning. Thank you very much.